Thursday thoughts for sure.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Dave Gates. Welcome to the Solo Musician Podcast. This is the Thursday Thoughts episode for Thursday, January 9th. I'll get into my Thursday thoughts in just a second, but first I have a couple shows coming up this weekend I want to tell you all about. This Friday night, January 10th, I'm going to be at FLINCHY'S restaurant in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. I'll be there from 8 to 11 p.m. Great spot there. They call it the train wreck deck. If you've been there, you know why they call it the train wreck deck. Not only does a train go past every 35 seconds, but you get pretty wrecked on that deck. I don't know if it's the atmosphere or the bartenders or what it is, but it's a great spot. So if you're in the area, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, Friday night, I'll be there 8 to 11 p.m. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be at the Retro and Reefer Festival presented by One Room Media down in Hagerstown, Maryland. That's at ANTIETAM Brewery from 2 to 4 p.m. I'll be down there playing some music, hanging out, shopping most likely. It's a retro flea market, which means that they're featuring things from the 90s, which was 30 years ago for anybody that's not keeping track. And it's also a reefer festival because weed's legal in Maryland. So come get your smoke on. That'll be from 12 to 4 p.m., Hagerstown, Maryland, as long as we don't get an ass ton of snow. So, all right, let's get into my Thursday thoughts for this week. And the first thing I want to talk about this week is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera. This thing. Now, I purchased one of these because Frank Persico told me to. If you don't know who Frank Persico is, he is a YouTuber and musician extraordinaire out of New York City. I watched one of his videos and I was kind of trying to figure out what kind of camera I wanted to purchase to try to help grow my YouTube channel in 2025 and also do some content for the podcast and a million other things. So I was watching a video. He basically broke down his mobile camera that he uses. And it looked like a great camera. It actually got a ton of great footage from my gigs this weekend. And I can actually show you, this is a little clip, right? So that is from my show on Saturday. I went around town. I did a bunch of video and I stopped in and saw Colin play and just tried to experiment with the camera a little bit. And if you're interested, the video is on my YouTube channel, Dave Gates Music, which you might be watching this on right now. Make sure you go check out that video and like and subscribe, as they would say. But that was one of my favorite parts of Saturday, was experimenting. Kind of walking around town. It felt a little weird walking with a camera that has a gimbal. Like, this thing just follows you. It has active face tracking. So I was out there kind of walking around, navigating people back and forth and trying not to get in anybody's way and filming myself like a YouTuber. And I enjoyed the process of creation. I enjoyed trying to find things that were interesting and finding camera angles and trying to create some very engaging content, because that's part of our job as musicians, is to engage people, to kind of draw people in and then show them our mediocre playing skills, mostly. I mean, maybe that's just personal to me, I think. But it was very interesting capturing that video, and I'm looking forward to using it for a bunch of projects. I actually created a band reel because we had band practice on Sunday, and I set the camera up and walked around, and you can move the microphone. It comes with an external microphone that's Bluetooth that you can kind of put anywhere. It has a windsock on it, so that way there, whenever you're outside and it's windy, you can still get crystal clear audio. If you listen to the YouTube video audio, that is with the external microphone clipped on. You can't even see it. It's out of frame. It's down on my jacket. But it was, a good 12 inches from my face, and still picked up crystal clear audio. And it was windy. It was blowing probably 15 to 20 miles an hour. And you can't even tell. Like I said, at band practice, I was over there kind of moving the camera around, getting different angles, getting push-pull shots. I love photography. I love videography. I took some classes in school for that, and I've always been very fascinated at framing and all those different little intricate things that make your videos so much better. So I'm excited to get the reels out for the band coming up here soon. And speaking of the band, I wanted to show you guys this awesome logo. Look at that. So Todd from our band, Todd's the bass player. Our band is In a Vibe. We haven't played any shows yet. I think we've had like 11 practices. But we asked Todd to kind of come up with a logo or a design for our band. That's what he came up with. And that is so cool to me because like Dylan, our drummer, is a big Dragon Ball Z fan. So we got like the 5 rings. We got all kinds of stuff that's kind of incorporated in that picture. And the picture itself is actually a bridge that Todd was walking on in Florida last year. And he just kind of took that, bambooified the bridge, and did all kinds of crazy artwork. Todd is a tattoo artist out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. He has Laser Fang Tattoo. He was on the podcast here as well, so make sure you go check out Todd Williams. That's his episode. But I just thought this, I mean, if you want to come follow the band, you want to follow the journey, you want to follow all of the content that we're going to put out and the shows that we're going to play and all these little reels and behind the scenes, go follow our band, In a Vibe, on Facebook. I think we're on Instagram. We might be on TikTok, maybe. Who knows? But we're definitely on Facebook and Instagram. So go find In a Vibe. Look for that picture, okay? Because there is another In a Vibe, but he's a musician from Limon. So that's not us. If you see a picture that doesn't look like me, it's a good chance that the guy's from Limon. And unless you speak Spanish, you're not going to enjoy his music too much. All right. Another thing I wanted to talk about, kind of wrapping up the gigs from this weekend, is Hungry Run Distillery. I played there Saturday night. It's all on the YouTube video, that recap. And, Saturday night was such a drastic change from Friday night for me, which happens to us as solo musicians, right? We have these crazy shows that are packed and full of people at these awesome venues that have big stages and building crowds and all that. And then we play, the next night we'll be in the corner of some private club playing to, not that many people. Or people that don't care that you're there. Like that happens. That's just part of the game, And I've gotten accustomed to it over the years and learned how to adapt in certain ways. It doesn't make it, it's not like it doesn't suck, but it's definitely easier to bear whenever you're like, I'm getting paid to play music. I'm here. I'm entertaining people. I'm having a good time. Half the time, if you're a drinker, you're having a beverage maybe, or if you're a smoker, maybe you're smoking. I don't know. I don't know why that would have to do anything to make your show better. But Saturday night was such a drastic change from Friday. Friday night, I played at Millerstown Moose. Now, if you guys are familiar with the Moose Lodges, they're all over the United States. One thing I love about Moose Lodges is that they compensate their artists very well. They all have a budget, a entertainment budget that they have to spend each year. And a lot of times, the Moose is the only place I've ever gone to and played where they told me afterwards that I wasn't charging enough. And they were like, you should charge more. Next year, we're going to pay you more. Every Moose I've ever played has upped my rate, which I love. But the downside to the Moose sometimes is that it's a members only club, right? So the members that are in there, they're not necessarily there for music. Maybe they're there to shoot pool because most of them have really good like diamond pool tables. Sometimes they're there just to drink cheap drinks, right? Because you're paying $2 a beer, $3 a beer, $4 for a mixed drink. So sometimes they're not so much there for the music. Friday night was one of those nights where I had some people that I knew that were there, and some people I hadn't seen in a while. Those people were awesome. Everybody was awesome. It's not like it was a bad night, but I had just a couple people there that I knew. And the rest of the crowd was just kind of hanging out. I mean, it had snowed that day, and, people were kind of disgruntled from the snow, maybe. Drastically different from Saturday. Saturday, I got to the gig. Got there really early, so I got to explore town a little bit, which is one of my favorite things to do. Like, even if I've been to that town before, I'd like to get there early and go try something new. And Carlisle is a melting pot of places to check out. They have a good ramen spot. They have great sushi. They have... I'm a food person, in case you didn't notice. They have all kinds of different things to look at, all kinds of architecture. They have really old sections of town and really new sections of town that are kind of boring. So there's just a lot in that town. So I got a chance to get there early and go check all that out, and then, get some content for the YouTube channel, and then go play the show. And when I got to the show, like we all experience sometimes, I got there and there was a gigantic table of people set up like kind of right where I was supposed to set up. And I'm there very early. I'm there like an hour early. So it was a thing where I can't go ask them to move an hour before. So I was just waiting around, And eventually, you know, the staff was like, hey, we got you a spot in the corner right beside them. You can just start setting up. So I went and set up my stuff. And I played. That table stayed. It was a table of like 12 people. They're in the YouTube video as well. They stayed for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I think they were there for 3 songs. Now they were very loud because they were having a conversation. You know, I came into their space. So I was kind of dialed back and didn't have it that loud. I was trying to just keep it reasonable for everybody else who was in the building. And then, you know, they got up and left and I was by myself. And I thought, oh no, you know, because we all have those gigs where we're like, oh no, now I'm just playing. It's just me now. So I just stood there and I played one song and hoped for the best, started praying to the music gods. And then in walked Rachel Rocks from PA Musician Magazine here in central Pennsylvania. Matt Jameson. Matt Jameson is another local musician here in Pennsylvania that plays a trillion shows a year. He came in, his wife Holly, and then the room filled up. You know, Matt and I ended up doing a song together, Copperhead Road, once again on the YouTube video. If you want to see a little snippet of that song, and we sang that off mic because the room has 12-foot ceilings. So we were just kind of in there singing and it sounded incredible just from the natural reverb of the room and the people that were there. And then, you know, after the show, everything went great. I tore down. I went right up the street. Colin Alvarez, my buddy Colin, was playing up there at Hook and Flask. I got to catch the tail end of his show and then sit down and talk with Megan from Megan and Dave duo here in central Pennsylvania. Got a chance to catch up with her and her husband, Matt, and just kind of sit there and talk about everything. I showed them this DJI Osmo, right? We talked about that earlier. I showed them that camera, and because they're looking for a camera for their vacation blogs and such, and just got a chance to sit down and talk with everybody and outline my goals for 2025. And one of those goals is to get out to a ton of open mics and start hosting as many open mics as possible, start doing live streams from the house here with other bands and interviews with them. That's what's set up behind me here. I have the Colin Alvarez Band is going to be doing a live stream and an interview from the house here on Sunday. So I'm really excited to start tackling all of these projects. And, you know, none of this happens without you guys' support. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to let you go. I don't want to talk your ear off. Hopefully I'll see you next week. I have the Colin Alvarez Band is going to be my guest on the podcast, which I'm super excited about, to interview the whole band and talk to all the members. And that'll be my first time doing more than one person. So that'll be really cool. And then I should have a gig vlog coming out from each weekend of shows now. That's going to be my plan. I'm going to try to get some other content throughout the week when I'm moving around and going to open mics and all those types of things. Stay tuned for all that cool stuff. And I will see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Oh, and hopefully you come out. Camp Hill, PA, tomorrow night, FLINCHY'S from 8 to 11 p.m., and then Hagerstown, Maryland on Saturday for the Retro and Reefer Festival, brought to you by One Room Media. That's from 12 to 4 down there at ANTIETAM Brewery. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week.
Thank you for tuning in today. Your support keeps the music flowing. Every note and what I play means the world just to hear you know it. We'll see you next time. Don't stray far. Your love is our shining star. Keep the harmony.